Yo, 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 what's going on, Game Changing Network? Another episode, episode 4. Today, of course, you see the title. We'll be talking about investing and purchasing dogs to breed. It's going to be a pretty interesting topic. So, it's late. We're going to get right into it. Of course, I want to thank 300 Cruises for sponsoring this episode of Donte Dog Stories. If you're looking for extravagant travel, 300cruises.com is the way to go. So, for the dog of the day today, it's going to be the Jack Russell Terrier. Reason being, Jack Russell is one of my favorite dogs. It's one of the first dogs that I ever came in contact with because I had neighbors who had a Jack Russell Terrier while I was young. A very hardy dog. Really lives up to the terrier breed name. They come from hunting backgrounds. They used to hunt foxes actually and burrow into the ground and dig out foxes. So you can tell that they are a very hardy breed, but nowadays they're not used for that. They're used for family dogs. They are small dogs. So if you're looking for a nice, small, intelligent dog, Jack Russell Terrier may be the way to go for you. They have a pretty decent lifespan, living up to about 10 to 12 years. And like I said, they're very low maintenance. Small dogs, they probably want to give about 15 pounds. So if you're looking for a small dog to have around, smaller kids or just kids in general, that might be the companion that y'all want to think about investing in. So Jack Russell Terrier, that's just a couple of facts about them. But like I said, we're going to get right into it. It's going to be a pretty good show today. Like I said, we're going to just talk about investing in and purchasing dogs to breed. So of course, this video is geared for my breeders, people who probably are getting into the game, but also people who are not breeders can actually learn from this too, as far as what to look for when you're purchasing a dog and how much you should be paying, or a good roundabout number of what you should pay for a quality puppy. Of course, in my opinion. So we're gonna get right into it. The reason I chose this is because, of course, I had to buy dogs and I had to start a breeding program, and I had to have a good number to start a breeding program with. So I didn't want to, of course, spend too much money and then not be able to make return in a quick enough time and just have a good ROI on things. So that's the main thing. So I think a lot of people are going to be able to learn a little bit of something from this episode. And I also will have a special guest today, another dog breeder who's going to give you a lot of good insight as far as purchasing good dogs and quality dogs and what it requires to see what a quality dog is and why would you spend a certain amount of dollars on said dog. So it's going to be a real good show. But to start off, one thing that I always tell anybody who contacts me about purchasing a puppy is do your research on first the breed, second the breeder. You always want to know the breed that you're getting into. You always want to know the ins and out about that breed so you can know what to expect when bringing this dog into your home. So the reason I do dog of the days is so I can provide some different insight on different breeds. Like I said, the Jack Russell today had, of course, tendencies that may be better for somebody that's a family-oriented family. That way, you have a smaller dog in a family scene, and you won't really have to worry about the issues that you really have to worry about with larger dogs. Meaning, sometimes, of course, if you have kids younger ages of 1, 2, and 3 years old, you don't want a larger dog roaming around the home able to knock this baby down or potentially hurt this baby on accident. You typically are more likely will want a smaller dog like a Jack Russell. So, again, when investing into what you're going to buy, you do your research on things like that. How big is this dog supposed to get? A Jack Russell Terrier, like I said, only gets up to about 15 pounds. So in your mind, you're like, okay, if I got smaller kids around, then a 15-pound dog won't be able to hurt that kid like a 115-pound dog would be able to. Of course, that's simple. So always just do your research on whatever breed you're doing. Um, Research the health of that breed. Does this dog have certain health issues that other breeds don't? Because of course that comes into the investment part. Because if you can read up on this dog, and let's say this dog has hip dysplasia that shows at a certain age and may require extra vet care the older this dog gets. So you have to keep in mind when buying this dog, when this dog gets older, I might have to spend a couple of $1,000s a year on vet care just because this specific health issue is related to this breed. Um, so in some breeds, like the Rottweiler breed, uh, they get health tests done or hip dysplasia tests done to cut down on that in the bloodline. Therefore, moving forward, the customers won't have to run into that issue of actually have to spend out of pocket to just keep that dog alive and feeling comfortable. Things like that are very important to look into when thinking about investing into a dog as well. And of course, it comes down to the price. Um, why are you spending what you're spending on, again, said dog? Why does this person feel this dog is worth this much? And why do you feel happy about spending that and getting that quality dog? Or what is the quality of dog that you're buying? Um, and honestly, that's up to the buyer, depending on what you're looking for. Because, I mean, you can find great dogs from the shelter depending on what you're looking for. But you also can find great dogs from a breeder depending on what you're looking for. So it's give or take. Um, like I say, really on the buyer on that end, because the price is going to vary from the shelter to the breeder. So therefore, you may be a person that has breeder taste but shelter dollars, or vice versa. You may have shelter taste and breeder dollars and just want a dog from the shelter because that's what you just want to do. I know plenty of people like that. I know plenty of people that want to buy dogs from breeders and don't let it go to the shelter. And I know vice versa, because it's different on each end. I know if I go to a shelter, me personally, I can't determine a dog's trauma at the age that they're at the time that I meet them. I can't determine what this dog has already seen in his lifetime to make them want to fight or flight. I also can't determine one of the most important things, this dog's health record. I only know from what the shelter is able to tell me. Now, when I go to a breeder, all those things are pretty much covered. And it's based off that breeder, if they're reputable or not, based off what they're talking about. Um, so if I know I'm going to a reputable breeder and they've done health tests on their dogs, I can see that. If this breeder's been working with the two parents for so long, he understands the temperament of the dogs. I know the temperament of the dogs that is going to come on those pups. I know that the trauma that can occur while in a shelter most likely want to occur with a breeder because of how those dogs are being whelped and the fact that you get them at a lot earlier age that you probably would get them than the shelter. So all these things play a key factor on why you're spending what you're spending. So if you go to the shelter, of course, you're spending a lot less money. But on the back end, you got a lot of different issues that you may have to deal with. Therefore, when you go to a breeder, you're spending a lot more money, but you have a lot of things on the back end that are covered as well that may make more sense to you for you to invest in something like that. That's the only difference in it. It's just a mentality thing, honestly. And if you want to get the best for your buck, why not limit the issues you could have when investing into a dog? So again, those are some of the things that I feel like are important when it comes to investing and then purchasing a dog to breed. But like I said, I got a special guest that I want to get in here to kind of explain his insight on it as well. So y'all can get a little bit of dialogue and just, you know, decipher yourself on what should be the best option when it comes to you investing and purchasing a dog. So without further ado, I'll be grabbing my guest, Mr. Terance Highsmith. What's going on now, Mr. Terance?
What's going on? How you doing, Mr.
I'm doing all right. I like that setup you got going on there now. Oh, hold on, let me see. Hold on, I think your mic just went mute. Oh yeah, your mic went mute. Can you hear me? Hold on. I don't know if it's me or not. You there, Mr. Terance? Oh, it's mute. Gotta get that sound back. Hold on. All right, I'm about to bring you back in. Hold on 1 second. Got any change the network? I definitely apologize for the technical difficulties, but just give me a second. I don't know why the audio went out when he first came in. Let's see if we can hear you now. Nope. There's no way to want to do this like this right now. Nope. Hold on, I'm gonna resend the link to you. Let me get you out of here. Yeah, bear with me now.
Dante, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Now we back in business. All right. Okay. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties there, but now we back in business most definitely. So, what I was about to do, without further ado, is introduce my guest, special guest here today. Um, of course, a part of the Game Changer umbrella, as you can see. Um, Terance Highsmith. Uh, One thing I feel like in this dog game, a lot of people don't do. They don't give people their flowers. And again, with Donte dog stories, one thing I'm about is bridging the gap between the younger breeders and the experienced breeders. So in this portion here, I definitely want to give you your flowers for what you are as a breeder itself. I feel like you embody what it really is to be a dog breeder. From what I've seen on a personal aspect and what you do behind the scenes, I definitely feel like um, you definitely can compete with any breeder across the board. So I definitely appreciate your insight that you're gonna be giving tonight, as far as what to look for when you're investing and purchasing a dog, because I feel like you'll be able to teach a lot of the younger breeders um, some real good gems. So without further ado, like I say, my special guest tonight, Terance Highsmith. Welcome to the show, Mr. Terance. Uh, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna be able to call you Terance the whole show. So, uh, welcome to the Terance, Duke. What's going on, man? How you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good, feeling good. Just to be a part of what you got going on here, that's an honor in itself. Like you said, you're bridging the gap between the younger uh, breeders and the older experienced breeders. I can say they old in as in age, but just older that been doing it for a minute. So
That's
it's an
right.
honor to be part of your stream and your Donte dog stories. That's an interesting thing. You're doing good with this right there.
I definitely appreciate that. So I kind of want to introduce you a little bit more, and I want you to definitely explain what got you into dogs. What made you start liking dogs, and what brings you here into, of course, being a breeder in today's world.
Well, of course, like country boy from North Carolina. That's what we actually. I had a lot of dogs. So as far as since I was like 10 years old, and just to be able to have a dog listen to you, be obedient, be disciplined, and that's what I was into. It was basic things that I was teaching: sit, stay, that type of things, and it just carried over through the years. And coming into now the American Bully, of course, me and you talked before. We got start purchasing American Bullies. We did our homework, know what we wanted in a dog. Uh, that was interesting in itself. Being we together, we still get different insights on what the breed consisted of. What your eye was different from my eye, and that's how we went about going about the game changing kennels. And here we are today, 2 years later, being successful. Feels good.
That's right. That's right. And I'm definitely gonna touch on a couple of things that you spoke on. I think one of the main things would be what you was kind of saying on the last tip, as far as the visions behind what you see in an American Bully that you like, and of course us working together, but still having different visions. What I would see and that I like. Um, we both have completely two different visions, but we can bring it together to make it as one when it comes to the dog world, if that makes sense. So, as far as your vision, what you look for in an American Bully, what out of American Bully stands out for you, and what is it that you're chasing when breeding an American Bully?
I I wouldn't say too much. I was chasing in the beginning. I was chasing size. In the beginning, my eyes, opened a little bit more to looking at what the flaws that I never knew of. I was looking to get into just to having a bigger dog. Uh, a lot of people talk to me today about, hey, you want to make a better dog versus making just a bigger dog. I had one vision at the time, but like I said, 2 years, this 2 years ago. And now, you got other qualities, bad, bad, when I can say bad, weak rears, you know what I'm saying, loose skin. I never looked into that being part of my quality. Of course, being American Bully, I was looking to temperament, size. I was into the bone, and I was into the blood of the bloodline of the dog. So that's what I was into originally. Of course, like I said, that was 2 years ago. But now here I am today, trying to create a better dog, looking for strong pasturings, making sure the temperament is good, uh, tight skin, what some people call it. But that's the change from 2 years ago up until now. So it's a big change. When I was looking into my size, did I find it? Yes, I did. I bred my female, that my first purchased female. I bred her to a bigger dog, and now to this day, he's looking really good for to be 7 months old. So that was my vision at the time. You know what I mean?
That's
But
right.
like I said, the blood click, what they call it, the DNA click, it worked good together. I got what I wanted out of it, and for the audience, just to stay tuned to see, see how this thing transpire.
Most
But
definitely, most definitely, most definitely. And as you were speaking, I actually had put the breeding you was talking about on the screen with Chopper and Doja, and then you creating, like you say, going for that size, that big boy brute. Um, and I definitely agree with you. That definitely was a breeding that I feel like was definitely slept on by the dog world. Well, not slept on, but they tend to act like they sleep on it. But for what it has shown to be, that definitely was a breeding. Like you say, for what you were looking for, you definitely put your eye on it, and you definitely accomplished uh, the mission with that one for sure. Um, and then as far as when you say, okay, I started off with this vision, and then it transformed into this vision. And I know earlier you kind of spoke on just doing your homework and figuring out things. Me personally, I know how you do your homework, and you actually deep dive to understand what's really going on behind the breeders and the dogs. I don't think you have step on that at all. I think when you lock in, you definitely figure out um, a strategic plan on what's going on as far as certain breeders and certain bloodlines to create what you see as the best American Bully in your eyes. So could you kind of break down like your homework during process? What is it that you're looking for? What do you do as far as when you are looking for these things to get to the answers that you're looking for?
well, for me, I do study the dog's actual bloodline. What have the stud that I'm looking for? What has that stud produced? So I tend to uh, wait on the younger males, right? If it's a male that hasn't produced anything, I try to wait on. I do have other females they're younger females, so of course I got time to actually uh, wait on the younger dogs versus the older dogs that already produce and shown what they can do. If they shown they can outproduce, a male can outproduce produce themselves, that's the ones I tend to look at a little deeper, and just sit back and study and see, of course, who the breeder is, and see how they go about doing business. So that's how I actually deep dive into what I call doing homework, get into the lab to try to see how has that stud produced, and that's how I actually go about doing it.
Nice. Okay. Um, what would you consider are as far as from buying your first dog to what dog are you on now currently if you was to buy another dog?
It'll be dog number 5.
Okay. Out of the 5 dogs that you bought, do you feel like with with each bought dog, do you feel like you progressed in your picking, or do you feel like it changed up each pick depending on what you were looking for, or like what's your picking process when looking at a litter?
I think it changed up on me picking uh, the dog that I'm actually looking for. Of course, like I said, I look into the bloodline, and the thing today is the bigger breeders. That's who people tend to turn to. You know what I mean? For one, I know they try to because they got a little consistency, but you also have to get the smaller uh, a smaller breeder. If they got good quality, you know what I'm saying, you can actually purchase from those breeders as well versus just going to the bigger names. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Going to bigger kennels because all just because they're a bigger kennel don't mean it's exactly what you're looking for at the time. But
Right.
a smaller breeder can have a quality pup as well, and so that's what I seen within the dog breed. A lot of people try to shy away from because the person do got 4 dogs. They shy away from that person versus going to a bigger breeder that got 50 dogs.
Facts.
So that's the thing I look into now. You got to get a smaller breeders opportunity to if they do have quality, get them an opportunity to get their quality out there as well. So that's one of the things. Like I said, that's why I switched up. I got 3 females from smaller breeders, but the dog quality, the pup quality was there that what I was looking for. You know what I mean? So
And and it definitely sounds like you dropping a real big gem right there, what you're saying. And a lot of times when getting into this breeding game, that I feel like a lot of younger breeders may miss out because of what you're saying. A lot of times you see they want the bigger names, and they go try to find the bigger names from the bigger breeders. But what you're saying is you was able to do your homework on these bloodlines, find out what's producing these dogs and who is producing these dogs, and still able to find the quality blood, but find it through somebody who may not be asking that top breeder's price, just because they don't have the recognition, but it's still the same quality of blood.
correct, and that's what I have figured out through my study of what I call doing my homework. Because like I said, I don't seen some of the smaller breeders have just as good a quality as the bigger breeders out there, or just as equal to it. You know what I mean? As
Right.
far as production wise. So that's what I've learned to know. Of course, all of us wouldn't mind want to have it from the bigger breeders, but like you saying, investing and purchasing is the financial piece there to actually purchase a $15,000 dog, or purchase a $20,000-$30,000 dog because it exists. So that's what I've learned over the 2 years that I've been doing my homework throughout the dog community.
Gotcha. And you say that things kind of change as far as what you were looking for. So did the price differ? Because I know what you're saying. You're saying you went to smaller breeders, but you was able to find the quality of blood. So the thing is, were you able to still to find the quality of um, blood across the board at around the same price, or did the price differentiate?
The price did differentiate, but I was able to, for what I could afford, I found the quality that what I could afford at the time, and it's just as good as some of the bigger time names that's out there. But like I said, just giving that person an opportunity to actually put their stuff out, put their quality pup out there. You know what I mean? And then it's just a bond too. You actually create a bond dealing with, dealing with some breeders. You know what I mean?
Right.
You stay talking to them. Some of the breeders check up on their pups, and that's the bond I'm talking about. You creating, because if you call them constantly asking, "Hey, how the pup doing this week?" And you want to give good rapport, so that's how it builds the networking and the dog bond throughout the breeders. I guess I say breeder bond. So
Okay. So as a breeder, when investing into a dog, then that means you definitely consider the relationship you have with the breeder.
correct.
Okay.
Versus sometimes a bigger breeder might not have time to talk to you like a one-on-one because they got so much stuff going on within their kennel, within their camp. So maybe they don't have the time to talk to you one on one. If you calling for the purchase of pup, that's what it is at the time. You know what I mean? Because they got their hands on so many different things. But versus you having a smaller breeder, you can talk to them and maybe they have more rapport with you. And like I said, I'm all about creating network. You know what I mean? I'm all about network. Of course, I just retired from the Army 20 plus years, so that's all I know about is networking. So it helps, outside on the breeder side as well.
I definitely agree with you on that one. I think that's one thing that me personally that I had an issue with as far as the networking piece because initially when I came in, I didn't talk to a lot of people, and because I feel like what I'm trying to do now wasn't going on. It wasn't a lot of younger breeders reaching out to a lot of older breeders, and there wasn't a lot of experienced breeders. It wasn't a lot of experienced breeders kind of reaching out or reaching back to put the game on the younger breeders. So I definitely feel like when investing, that networking piece that you're talking about is very vital. And if you are able uh, to get a breeder that's able to network with you and build off each other, and y'all both benefit from that, I do feel like that is definitely beneficial. Uh, and so with your Doja and Chopper breeding that I displayed earlier, do you feel like you got that with the breeding you did with Chopper?
Oh, definitely for sure. Hogline Kennel is that they're well named kennel. Uh, he was very knowledgeable, giving me information. Of course, like I said, to this day we still talk. He still check on it. He actually called or inbox me and check on the pups. How this pup doing? How's your girl doing? Doja doing? So we still talk. I still tend to ask him questions. Like if I something I don't know, I still go to him for questions, and he seemed to answer the questions that I have. So that was a good. I want to say that was a good breeder bond, and like I said, we still talk to this day. And like I said, it's Hotline Kennel, Texas. He's a very knowledgeable person on breeding as well, and putting different bloods together to make them, like I said, what they call it now, to make it click. So yes, sir.
Nice, nice. Okay, so uh, of course they will fall under the line of just investing into dogs. So when you did go to the breed dojo, was there a fee involved, or of course you can do put back deals, all kind of things you can do in the dog world to compensate someone for a stud fee. But in your case with dojo, was there a financial stud fee?
Yeah, it was a financial stuff fee, and we did talk about. It was later after we really locked in on wanting to breed to Chopper. Was we're going to do a stud fee financial, or we're going to do a put back deal? And at the time, I chose to give the stud fee, and so that's how we actually done it. And like I said, Chopper is a well known dog in the dog community. Uh, So he was a good piece for my puzzle. You know what I mean? So he was a nice guy. When we talked to Keith, he didn't, he wasn't. He let us come out there, see the dog, talk to him, get some knowledge, and actually take pictures with him. Let me actually bring the dog out so we can see him. So that's what made me actually, tend to stay with him because he was a valuable piece in my puzzle that I had.
Nice, nice. And I like to hear you say he was a very valuable piece, and acknowledging that you actually needed that piece to put together what you was trying to do. Um, so, of course, that leads to the next thing. Do you feel like I think you probably touched on it earlier though. Do you feel like it was successful investing into that financial stud fee? And do you feel like did you get your return on investment for that?
I want to say yes because what I was looking for, we still currently going there. Like I said, the pup that I got 7 months old, uh, he's showing that he has the potential to be where I wanted him to be. Right now, he's 7 months at 120, like 120 pounds. I want to say he has like a 24-inch head already. So what I was looking for to get a big dog, he's heading that direction. So
Oh,
hopefully he
definitely.
stay growing like he's growing, and next year about this time we'll be able to tell you. We can show the dog community. Hopefully we can come back up here. I can talk to you again and let you see that, hey, this what we got. I can actually show you the actual uh, pup at the time. So
And I feel like what you just said was very important. And I feel like I don't want a lot of younger breeders to gloss over what you just said. Because at no point did you say, yeah, I made my money back. Yeah, I made 3 times my money. Uh, the profit margin, this and that. You didn't say that. The whole time you talked about your production and what you were producing to that's what brought you what you feel like your return on investment, not
that's right.
necessarily the actual monetary
Money.
value of.
That's right.
And I feel like with younger breeders, they miss out on that because in the long run, again, you'll need a stud like what you said. If you got a male that's already 7 months and that's what his blood is showing to be a big dog, and he's showing to be a big dog. Like in the long run, of course, you can't put a price tag on that. So that's one thing. Like I said, I don't want any younger breeder that's gonna watch this or watching this right now, because I see we do got some folks tuned in, to gloss over, because that is a big point. He didn't say, "Oh yeah, the money I gained off the litter." He said the one production that he feels stands out to him that he kept uh was his return on investment. So just keep in mind the mentality and the mindset when breeding these dogs. Sometimes the return on investment may not be uh monetary. It may
Right.
be that production, because that production may take you in places you never thought you would be. It may put you in rooms that you never thought you would be in. So that's big. Um, as far as let me see how I can put this. So as far as moving forward, with you not having a monetary value on things, how would you go about, if he is exactly what you're saying he is, like how would you go about pricing him? Because obviously you like him for the production he is, um, but business wise, you got to consider that. So moving forward, how would you go about as pricing his stud fee in the future? Would it be close to what you paid, or how would you do that?
Of course, letting the dog prove itself. So of course, the stud fee of him will be a little lower than what his dad, because his dad got what 7, 8, 9, 10 litters out there. Versus this gonna be his first litter. So I won't try to jump right in the game and say he's equal to producing like his dad. We don't know yet. So of course it'll be a reasonable stud fee going into it versus trying to jump straight to the top. Um, but the thing for him, his name should speak for itself later. You know what I mean? What he has in his pedigree. When a breeder sees his pedigree, and if I did ask for a higher amount, it should. Hopefully they don't. They're like, oh man, he got this paid, this paid. Hopefully they'll say, okay, he's worth it. Bloodline wise. But like I said, he got to prove himself. So of course, coming in, his stud fee won't be as expensive as his dad's is. I ain't saying it's expensive, but it to me, you know what I mean. It wouldn't be high. It'll be a reasonable fee. What I'm trying to say.
Gotcha, gotcha. And I don't know if you can see it, but I got a picture of that boy. We talking about brute force up right now. Um, I think he was 6 months in this picture, and he
Right.
he he looks beautiful. I ain't gonna lie to you. Everything about him is is unique. I definitely believe he's a unicorn in himself. Very big dog, but very clean dog as well. And I just think he's proportioned very well. And I do feel like how you feel as far as showing himself. He of course has to show himself, but if he continues on the pace that he's on now and he produces what he at the pace that he's on now, he'll definitely be a top stud in the nation. And I don't think anybody will be able to doubt that. I mean, across the board, not just what his blood will bring, but I believe compared to any stud of any blood, he'll definitely be bringing it. So I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah, and like I say, brute force is a force to be reckoned with, and that's what I say on all his when I put a picture of him up. And like I said, we'll just see when time comes. I'm not saying he's the best. Not what I'm claiming, but like I said, only time will tell, and the viewers will be able to tell. I post them, constantly, and they'll be able to tell if that's what they like. They're gonna same thing I did. I like his dad. I went, what I'm saying, what they call it, pay to play. That's what I did. So and like I said, I got that pup out my keeper mail. So I got that out of what I invested in. So
Right.
that's what I'm looking for, and I'm pleased with it, and I just want to see where it's gonna take them.
And you said something that I hear a lot in the dog game, that pay to play. Could you elaborate on that a little bit more, and how you feel about paying to play? Do you feel like it's necessary? Do you feel like it can be bypassed, or how do you feel about paying to play in the game?
So if it whatever monetary value it is, right? Say if it's six, whatever you pay to get something you want, that's paying to play. Of course, nobody not just gonna give you a quality. Not in this dog world, right? They're not gonna just give you a dog just to give it to you. One of their best dogs, they're not gonna just give it away to you. So that's why I say pay to play. Of course, you're gonna put some kind of monetary. If it's $200 or $300, you still paying to be in the dog world. If that's as a breeder, you know what I mean.
Right.
So that's why I say the little term pay to play. Some people pay bigger, you know what I mean, to play, but that's the different stages. Different levels to the bully game, and whatever one you fit in, whatever one you can afford, that's where you fit in it. And so that's why I call it pay to play. And I paid what I paid to produce Brute, and we're gonna see what he gonna do. So he got 3 years to really, they say they don't stop growing to 3 to 4 years. His dad maxed out at 4 years. So at 2 years he was a certain size, and I was told by Hogline Kennel that when he got 4 years old, he was at his max. So we still got plenty of time to see what he does. I'm just pleased with him as of right now, as a 7-month-old pup. I've been showing some of the top breeders. They say the same thing. He looks nice, and so that's all I needed to hear. You know what I mean?
That's
Uh,
right.
the Hogline Kennel, the stud I used to produce him, he said he looked nice. I talked to some more reputable breeders within the Texas area, and I say 9 out of 10 is pleased with what he's looking like so far. So that's says a whole lot for me. Just those people, giving him kudos on how good he looked. He looked like a sound, standard dog.
That's right.
Speaking, no, he's not too big. He's not flabby. He's right where he need to be at 7 months old.
And that's another key. That's another key thing that I want uh people watching to hear out again, as far as what he said he did when he did his research, and seeing and making sure he wanted to use this stud in particular. He reached out to other people who had litters by this same dog to see what they thought of this same stud, and to compare to the females that they bred him to get a roundabout answer on if he was going to be able to bring what he thought to the table, basically. So if you're a younger breeder and you're thinking about studying a dog, don't just think about the blood. Don't just think about for of what you know. Ask the people who actually had litters with this person, and
Right.
ask for pictures of the productions, and see how they're coming. Get some stats on these dogs, so you can make a roundabout decision and make a better investment for yourself, so you don't just drop the ball and then you're hoping for something and then you really fall short of getting that. So that's a big thing that I want, especially the younger breeders like myself, and ones younger than me to pick up on. And of course, we're talking about the success story now. What we feel like is definitely going to be a success story in brute force from what he's showing. Um, but do you feel like you made some mistakes in purchasing some dogs, or how do you feel about All your purchases.
Not necessarily a mistake. Maybe I jumped in. I say for me, maybe I jumped in too fast. I have 4 females right now, uh, and 2 males. The one that we talking about earlier, the one I just produced. But I also have another stud male I'll be using in the near future. So I would just say I think I purchased too fast. Yeah, that's him right there, Bruce Wayne. So he was another male that I actually purchased from a very known breeder, Gotham City Bullies. So that's where I got him from, purchasing him from them. And like I said, the money value, I don't think it was. I think I got what I paid for. You know what I mean? So I
Right.
don't too much, too less. I got what I paid for, and we'll be using him on 2 of the females that I have here in the near future. Like I said, we just playing a waiting game right now. We still a young camp, so we coming along just how we had planned it from the beginning. You and talking to you, of course, you said, "Hey, we'll start seeing return 2 or 3 years from now." You can't just buy a dog and think tomorrow, hey, you're gonna be, financially sound, like making money, making money. It's not that easy. Uh, it takes time to be with the dogs, cleaning up behind them, making sure they got food, making sure they got fresh water, vet visits. I went to the vet a couple times, unexpected vet visits. But it's part of the breeding, the dog world, dog game. I don't know how they want to put it, but it's just part of it. And you just got to be uh, mentally prepared for it. Versus, I didn't know my dog gonna get sick, so I can't care for it. You know what I'm saying? Care for the dog no more. So you just got to be mentally sound for this whole thing. It's a little tougher than I thought. You know what I mean? Versus, like I said, being a country boy. Uh, I didn't have to go to the vet as much as when I'm taking these dogs now.
Right.
So
And I that's a great segue into what I'm gonna ask next. So I had another gentleman on the show the other night, and for any breeder that I feel like is a younger breeder, like around my age, 25, 26, 27 and younger, I asked them, what is one thing that they would want to know from a experienced breeder, as far as just like any question they would want to ask them, and to just pick their brain. And me personally, like I say, I've seen it firsthand how you handle your business during your breedings and just handling your dogs in general, just like their their lifestyle. I've seen that firsthand, and I know, um, compared to, like I say, any breeder, I feel like you're top notch. You definitely on your stuff. You don't really miss a beat. Like you say, you take your dogs to the vet. Um, you make sure paperwork is in. You make sure your dogs are taken care of very well. You're cleaning out your kennels. You're giving them the best dog food you can find. Like I witnessed that, and I feel like the consideration you take into doing that uh, actually shows in your dogs. It shows in your productions. Um, and I feel like that's very important for, of course, any breeder to know, because that's one of the things that is hard to keep up with. And the question that the gentleman had was, how do you stay in it when it's times that you want to give up, and you just like, f the dog game, because it will be moments like that depending on what's going on. What wheels you back in to say, hey, this what I signed up for, this what I'm gonna stick with, and this what I'm gonna prosper in.
because it gets to the point where the dogs become family. You know what I mean? This is like giving up on your child or something. To me, I don't got that attached to the dogs that I do have. It's like giving up. You start with them as a pup because they rely on you at all times. You know what I mean? To be let out, make sure their area is clean, make sure they're fed. They can't feed themselves, so they make sure they're fed, make sure they water, make sure uh like we do. We go to the doctor if something wrong. Same thing. You got to take them when you see something wrong. You have to take them as well.
That's right.
So and like you said, I was to that point at one time. Like it was kind of frustrating, and I was like, "Oh man, I bit off more than I could chew." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if I would have did that, gave up on the dogs, like giving up on your family. You know what I mean? To me, like my kids. So I don't from 6 weeks to 7 months, from 6 weeks to 2 years old. It's like, and they rely on you all the time. So you to just give up on them and say, hey, I don't care about this no more, and be able to give them away, that says a lot to you as a person, just to give your dog away. After you done spent 3-4 years with them, and for you just to say, hey, you know what, the dog didn't turn out like I wanted it, so I can just give him away, or her, him or her. So it just says a lot about you, your character. You know, and being loyal to the dog. You know what I mean?
Most
You
definitely.
the breeder can need to be disciplined as well as the dogs do. So it's just part of the getting into the breeding. You need to know, listen, like at least talk to somebody that's been doing it, hey, because they're gonna tell you. So it's like I know like 4 or 5 breeders tell me, hey, this ain't easy as you think. You know what I mean? But me,
Mm-hmm.
mentality and the pride I got, I know I can, I can handle this. Like I said, just served 20+ years in the U.S. Army. Uh, it says a whole lot. I didn't give up on it. So
Right.
why? How could I give up on a puppy that needs you? You know what I mean? And you get them to 2 years old. That's not that long. I did 20+years. You know what I mean?
Right.
So to do
Right.
2 years with a dog, it says a whole lot about you as a character. So that's my little piece in that part. So that's
Yeah,
what
I
it.
definitely appreciate that. That's definitely one a perspective that I feel like everybody is not going to be able to have just with your experience and what you just said. So that's definitely gonna be a gem, and I hope a lot of people listen to what you just said because that's big. Uh, and like I say, it shows in your dogs, it shows in your production, it shows in how you carry yourself and your lifestyle with your dogs. The fact that you treat them like family, and like you say, you don't want to give up on family, so it makes sense to stick it on out. Especially like how you said, when you done been through the times that you done been through, you vetted for it. So I most definitely love that answer. Um, but yeah, man, I definitely appreciate your time tonight too. I didn't want to make this show too long, but I feel like you definitely came with a lot of information and a lot of good things that a lot of people will be able to benefit from. And I think they're gonna like this one. Like I said, you gave a different perspective, a different insight on just as an experienced breeder. And the older breeder as well, and how the perspectives do differ.
That's
But
right.
if it was one question or one thing that you want to see out of a younger breeder, what would it be?
To ask a younger breeder,
Mm-hmm.
what would be their uh, what will be their main uh, deal for getting into dog breeding at an earlier age? Do you know? Do you got enough? Do you know enough information? Have you done the networking? Before you actually do it, before just go purchase a dog and think it's supposed to go from there. Like you said, have you learned the actual breed? Have you learned the different? Of course, we got like what 5 different what it's called 5 different that make
Classes.
up, yeah, 5 different classes that make up the actual the bully world. You know what I mean? Have you looked at checked all of them out? You know what I'm saying? Do you know what you got to know what you're talking about prior to coming in? Because if somebody you breed within a year, right, and somebody asks you a question like, "Hey, hold on, I'll tell you later." Make sure my question is, are you willing to do the homework prior to jumping in the dog game? You know what I mean?
That's
A
right.
bully game. So that would be my question to a younger person. Do you got enough knowledge behind yourself prior to actually jumping in the game? Of course, like I said, I had dogs before. Have I have American Bully? No, but I had pit bulls before. You know what I mean? But
Right.
that was a long time ago. But me knowing dogs, you know what I mean, and this
Right.
was around, pretty much they're not too far apart. You know what I mean? Because it took the pit bulls to get to where we at today. You know what I mean? So
Facts.
that's the only thing I say. So I've been around that type of breed before, so I thought it would make it easier for me. But it's just a whole lot to learn. Extra to it's two different lanes, shall I say? But like I said, just to ask the person before you do it, do you know what you're getting into prior to coming into it? It's not a get rich type deal. You can just come in. Don't come in financially, mindset. You know what I mean? Come in and try to do something different or make it better. You know what I mean? Versus
Right.
coming in for financial gain. And that's the question I would ask.
Okay. I definitely agree. And I got, of course, one last question for you. Um, what's your plan from here to actually improve on the American Bully game that you're in? What do you feel like you're gonna be doing to improve on the game from here on out?
For me, I did want to eventually get into the show portion of it. I know it's never too late. If you can have what they call the young handlers, the young handlers in the dog ring,
Right.
if they can do it, I look at it. If they can do it at 13 and 14, I'm pretty sure I could do it at my age. So I just want to get in the dog ring and try it out. But like you said, you got to find something. You got to have some quality dog to actually put the dog in, put versus making yourself look crazy. Just to breed anything, it doesn't work like that. So I just want to put something together that's going to be able to fit in the not to fit in, to uh be able to have the whatever the standard is for the actual American Bully to what we see today. That's what that's where I want to create that though versus purchasing it. And do I think we got it within our camp? I think so. You know what I mean?
Most
So I
definitely.
just want to be able to get to that point, like you're saying, go to some shows and find out what they're looking at. You know what I mean?
Right.
Take that information, uh, them notes that we get, take that back to the drawing board, and hopefully we can put something together. Like go to the lab and put something together on our own. You know what I'm saying? Just so I possibly can get in the show ring and not just to be in there. Just I want to win. I want to let the dog get noticed. Not me per se, but the dog show who they are. So
Facts.
that's my plan for the future to actually get a dog that, like they said, we can champ out. I know here in Texas, I know a dog that's a 6-time grand champion. You know what I mean? I,
That's
I
right.
want to be the at least get close to doing something like that. So do we know the networking piece? Do I know the names? Do I know the dogs? Where the blood at? Yeah. But it's just like he says, it takes for not to I don't want to purchase, I want to produce it. That I said, hey, this is what I made to be noticed in the show ring. So that's my goal moving forward. And hopefully in the next 2 to 3 years, we come back up here and say, hey, we just champed the dog out. Or we just got a grand champion also. And we can go back and say, hey, 2 years ago, I remember when he said that's what he wanted to do.
That's
So
right.
that's the plan moving forward.
That's right. Hey, I definitely agree with you as far as it feel different when you produced it and versus buying it and speaking on it. So I definitely agree though. But like I was saying, man, I definitely appreciate you for your time tonight. It's late night, so I know you stayed up to knock one out with me. And I definitely want to continue to commend you on what you're already doing in the dog game. And I feel like how you speaking on earlier when you got to a point where you was kind of frustrated, but you decided to stick it out. I feel like the dog ain't gonna benefit from you sticking it out. You know what I'm saying? So, cause I see firsthand what you bring to the table when it comes to the dog game, and it's like no other. So I definitely want to again appreciate you for your valuable time tonight, and we definitely gonna have you on the show again because just with this short show here, you done gave a lot of insight in a very quick show just about purchasing and investing into the dogs. So I definitely want to keep digging in your brain about other stuff, you know what I'm saying, that I know you know about. So we'll definitely have you on the show in the future. And we definitely want to continue to hear about your story and the legacy you're about to leave in this dog game.
And I thank you for having me on Donte Dog Stories. And like I said, hey, you doing a great job with the dog stories. As we can see, this is episode what, number 5, number 4.
Yes, sir. Number 4.
Yeah. So I can see where you're going, headed with this forward. So it's a good thing. And like I said, just let other people see, to open their minds up to what's going on versus not knowing. Versus, maybe they don't want to sit down and talk to nobody. But the conversation we have, maybe like, oh, I can take, if they take one thing from what we went through tonight, that's all. Hey, we did what we came to do. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Let the
That's right.
word hear what we trying to do. We're moving forward. What we got going on here at Game Changing Kennels, and just to stay tuned and watch what we come to do.
That's right. Give the folks your personal social media so they'll know where to find some of that content when you be posting all these beautiful pictures of these dogs that we were showing tonight.
Oh, my IG is Cheese Cheez Low Smith. That's my IG, and my Facebook is Terance Highsmith, and they can see. I probably post more on Instagram than actual Facebook. Like mostly the dogs. You know what I mean? So they can look up there and see the growth of brute force, and they can see the growth of the other pups that I done raised so far. That's getting into the year marks. So both of those, I have a TikTok as well, but I think that's it. That's Cheese Highsmith as well. So that's where they can go to find, if they want to keep up with brute force to see. No, I do all my weigh-in. I do the weigh-ins with them, so it's not me just throwing out numbers. I'm not throwing out numbers. They can see the numbers that I'm saying, so we can go forward from there.
That's right. That's right. All right, man, dude. I like it again. Appreciate your time. It's definitely gonna be a nice one. You're gonna be hearing from me soon. Be reaching out to you, and you stay safe, man. Happy Thanksgiving too, cause we done talked it right into Thanksgiving. So
Yes,
happy
sir.
Thanksgiving,
Hey,
man.
that's what it is. That's what it's all about, family, bro. Thanksgiving is all about family. So, hey, it was well worth it. And like I said, thanks again for having me on your dog story show. And
Yes, sir.
hopefully you can get to see you again.
Most definitely. You will see me again for sure. Be
All
safe,
right.
huh? Yes, sir. So y'all seen just an epic show, what I feel. Very experienced breeder right there. And please don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? He's under the game changer umbrella for sure. But I mean I clearly seen he has his own vision, his own niche as far as how he came into the dog game and what he wanted to do with his dogs. So he's an entity in himself. He stands on what he stands on. And it's a very valuable piece to Game Changer to be under that Game Changer umbrella. He's definitely a big asset, and y'all can see that just based off the homework that he does on these dogs to figure out what he wants to do moving forward with his side of the program. So, very very epic show tonight. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Um, hey, another show. That's what we're doing. So y'all know tomorrow we back at it again. It's Thanksgiving, but guess what? We ran again. It's gonna be another live show. I appreciate everybody that like I said that tuned in. Like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, the Game Channel Kennels on YouTube, uh, on Facebook. Keep sharing this. Tell a person to tell a friend to tell a friend. And that's pretty much it. Thank you, 300cruisers.com, for sponsoring this show again. If you're looking for extravagant travel, 300cruisers.com is the way to go. And to everybody out there that's watching this Game Changer Network, happy Thanksgiving. Y'all definitely enjoy that good food. I know I will be. Um, don't be feeding the dogs no table scraps, man. Don't feed the dogs table scraps. Dogs got dog food. They don't supposed to eat human food. But y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. Y'all be safe. And we'll be back with another one tomorrow.